can we get that intro you be doing on the gram?
I ain't want nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't want nothing. Hey, this is Christian Keyes. I ain't want nothing. That came from, I literally call my friends or like family members and just to check on them. You know, it's great when people call you. Sometimes folks need stuff, sometimes they don't. But my favorite calls are when they really didn't want anything other than to check on me and see how I'm doing.
This is Max Philisaire. This is another episode of Max Your Mind. We got Christian Keyes in the building. He's a busy man today. He's got interviews, all types of press deals going for movies coming out. What, this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. Yes, sir. Judgment Day.
He still made time to come over here and talk to us. Man, what's this outfit? You look like you're about to go cook up a storm or what? What's it say on there?
It says Black Don't Crack. This is year round, not just during Black History
Straight out
Month.
of the Congo.
Listen here, man. This is there's a sister down here named Deborah Hubbard. She, we've been saying Black Don't Crack for years. Everybody has. But she had the foresight to trademark it, start a clothing line.
She trademarked it?
Yes.
For clothing?
Yes. And they're on IG. I'm always wearing something of theirs, but Black Don't Crack. It's just really dope, and it's about the resilience. It's about our resilience. We are a powerful, durable people. We've been through a lot. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Gotta get you on.
Yeah.
Get you. I think I'm gonna get you the extra small with no sleeves.
Extra. He already knew. I was about to say extra small.
I got you.
I'm trying to look big on TV.
But no, it's just I love celebrating, folks like us that are trying to do our own thing. Trying to keep some of our money in our own community. And she's, like I said, she's a brilliant woman. I love the Black Don't Crack brand, and we're actually going to at some point do a skincare regimen, moisturizers, cleaner, that kind of thing, because people always ask me about my skincare regimen. So yeah, it's
what's the Instagram?
At Black Don't Crack.
At Black Don't Crack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the description.
Yes. At the @sign Black Don't Crack. Yeah, and I rock with them all year long. That's fam right there. So
yeah, that's live.
She just dropped these. She dropped this off to me yesterday or the day before. So
yeah, that's nice.
Appreciate it.
What's your Instagram?
At Christian Keyes. Christian spelled like the religion. ChristianKeyes. At Christian Keyes. All my pages, my real pages are verified. Anything else is not me.
It's funny. You heard it from the man himself. It'll be in the description. You coming from the gym?
No. I got leg day later.
So you're going to work, you got a meeting after this, and then you're going straight to the gym after?
I got to meet my massage person is coming through. And then I'm going to terrorize legs right after that.
Shouldn't it be after?
It should be, but, hey, you got to get it when you can get it. So we said, we scheduled the time, and she's really good, and she's really busy, so.
What's the body goal? Because I seen you're locked in right now.
Yeah,
you got a project coming up?
I got a couple projects coming up. Right now I'm trying to put on just lean muscle, but also, stay about maybe no more than a week away from my peak physical condition.
Okay,
so probably
and maintain that?
Yeah, and keep that.
Smart. Man, I really appreciate you coming today.
Of course, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
You making time for us brothers.
Well, I remember we go back like 2-3 gyms ago. So, I was like, this cat is, they built you in a warehouse somewhere, man. You ain't even human.
I thank God for my parents. They blessed me with some genetics.
And then the rest is all work. But I see you put in the work, though, and that's where, it's always been a mutual respect because you get it in like I do. That's my therapy. I need it.
You mastering the mind and the body, though.
Got to.
With acting, what type of, the training you go to, master your roles, that's pretty intense from what I've heard outside looking in.
Very much so. You kind of got to set your preferences and your personality over here and let the character have their way with you, basically. So all of Max's habits, all of Max's mannerisms, Max might like to do this, flick the table when he talks. Your character doesn't do that. He has his own quirks, his own mannerisms, his own things, his own cadence. He might talk a little different. He might talk a little faster. He might have a little more music to it. He might have a lot more intention to it and more purpose behind it. And you got to let that character have you. And it's liberating because literally get to create magic and grab that person off the piece of paper and give him life. It's really dope.
It sounds very, you know, I enjoy art as well, and also film production.
Yeah.
It sounds very fulfilling to create.
Yes. Very much so. Very much
It sounds like it takes a lot of discipline for you to, like, you know, put yourself to the side and take on a character.
And you catch yourself. Like, you'll be like, I've had a such and such, and he speaks like this. And so every time and when he's speaking and he's talking, it's very deliberate and it's very intentional. And these are his, like, even just going into that particular character who's on the show that's coming out in the spring, I gave him those things, or kind of, he told me he was going to, I'm not crazy, y'all, I promise I ain't.
Boom, that's you
yes,
right there.
I'm not crazy. But your character will give you things if you get out the way. And
You're not crazy, but don't you have to be a little wild?
Yeah,
to take on a character and
very much so.
And all that.
Very much so. But it's the same way the same discipline we use as athletes. You know, you
go in the zone.
And yeah, and everything has purpose. Every little thing has intention. Every time you contract a muscle, it's on purpose.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're wasting effort and energy and you're not building like you could be. The same thing with that. Every decision is intentional. Everything is with purpose. And I love it. And what's crazy is I'm gonna be learning this for the rest of my career. Like, there's so much more I can still learn.
Growth, non-stop growth.
Lifetime student. I love it.
It's been a minute, but didn't I meet you on set of a music video?
Which?
Didn't you do a Nicki Minaj's
and Mariah Carey? Oh my God!
I'm like, he's
Up Out My Face. That was the Up Out My Face video. I was a video vixen.
So that was before you started doing more of the acting?
I was doing more.
Or you were already putting in work?
I was already working, you know, but I was kind of building momentum. I was coming out of the theater world and all the stage plays.
Okay.
And I moved here in 06, so around, you know, between 2006, 2010, I did, you know, multiple music videos, thankfully. Blessed to be, you know, working with some really dope people. And I just thought it was a good vehicle, because a Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey video, them two on the same song, that video is going to get played 20 million times.
True.
So people, you know, get used to seeing you. They be like, man, where do I know him from? Right. That's why.
Okay, marketing.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So you come from a theater background.
Yeah.
Because I remember you told me that. I was like, this guy is taking this pretty serious.
Yeah, man. It's theater's a beautiful thing. There is no second take. You can't edit or cut anything. It's when the curtains come open, there's 2,000 or 3,000 people sitting there waiting for you to show out. And you got to give it to them. And whereas TV and film, like, I can look at you and talk to you. In theater, if the crowd is over here, then I kind of gotta go back and forth and kind of give them some of the energy as well, so they're not looking at the side of my face the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in that. But you get that immediate gratification when something dramatic happens in a play. You hear 2,000 people gasp. And it's amazing. It's like it'll give you a chill. Or like when something funny happens, they'll bust out laughing, and they'll be laughing for like 30 seconds. You got to let them finish.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That interaction, that connection.
Yeah, and there's music under it because there's a band backstage, or you know, there's an orchestra or a band playing instruments, so it's scored. So it's like you're living in a movie in those moments, and it's really dope.
Did you go into acting thinking I'm gonna do theater first and then?
No, that's where I feel like that's where God was blessing. I feel like that's the area of my life He was blessing, and I learned to try to pay attention to that. Like, I want to be focusing on, like, I'm gonna do the stuff I want to do, and I'm hoping that He blesses, you know, that as well. But I know He's blessing my acting side, so I know that's a huge part of my purpose. So I have to stay in that because I want to be in the area of my life that He's going to continuously bless, and He still is. I'm working on multiple shows. I just wrote and sold my first TV show. And
screenplay.
I wrote the pilot, created this show. Thank you, brother. And then they let me write the whole first season because we were in pandemic.
Wow.
So yeah, I got to write all first 8 episodes.
You've been putting the work, so like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's your time.
It's a grind, man, and I encourage anybody who has a passion for creating. Anybody who, this is a platform. This is a creation. This is your thing, and I encourage anybody who has a passion to create something, to write something, to record something, to launch a fitness line like Lita was talking about, to launch a nutrition line, whatever, especially if it's encouraging people to create change in their life and it's something positive, I'm here for it. But especially if it's something like if it's writing a book or recording a song or writing a movie, I say do it, man, because God can't bless it if you don't
take the initiative.
Yeah, we got to give him something to bless.
He's definitely using you. I've seen a shift in your social media. Maybe I'm late, but like you're quite a activist on there.
Yeah, gotta be.
Was that always the case, or was there something that changed?
It was always the case, but it was probably like maybe half as much. Because I would speak on things that were important to me, you know, marching for women's rights, you know, marching for equal pay for women, marching for, you know, equal opportunities in corporate America for women, you know, human rights stuff, just stuff that if I ever have a daughter, she'd be proud of me for marching. Or that my son can look over and be like, yeah, you know, I'm going on with my dad to this Black Lives Matter march today. Things like that, because with this platform, I feel like it's a responsibility that comes with it. And I feel like I don't have to, but I want to bring awareness. I want to remind people, hey, we got a runoff in Georgia, January 6th.
A runoff.
Please make sure that the Senate, the two Senate runoff elections that we had, you know, just reminding people, because people will literally, they'll comment underneath there, oh man, I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me. That's worth it. That makes it worth it for me. Yeah. And just reminding our people, like, yo, hey, don't forget, we got to win Georgia. We need to win these two Senate runoffs. So make sure you guys get out and vote, please, and thank you. Stuff like that, to me, that's worth it. Yeah, I like posting goofy stuff and fun stuff, but stuff that matters, that's fulfilling as well.
I agree. As far as marching, what steps can we do past marching? Because a lot of people march. What are the next steps you believe that we should take as black men and black women in the community for, you know, progression?
Great question. I think there's several things we can do after that and past that. I think we can sign the petitions. I think we can make the calls to the legislators. Actually, I get on their nerves. I love calling, you know, and posting their personal office number and calling, like, why aren't these cops arrested that killed this unarmed person? You know, why are they still on the job? Why is this going on? Why is that going on? Making the calls, signing the petitions, starting to, you know, putting our minds together. Like, here's one idea. Why doesn't every major city in this country have a nonviolent response unit, NVRU? So when someone is having a mental health issue, they can send people that are trained to de-escalate instead of sending police that are trained to shoot to kill and ask questions later. Police shouldn't be responding to those things.
True.
If somebody's having a mental break and he's naked with a screwdriver, you know, you don't have to go there and kill him. You could have a nonviolent response unit. We can take some of that absurdly ballooned police budget and deflect some of that money over there to them, and less people can die. 3 people have died already this year on mental health calls where police showed up and just shot them. They shot, oh, wait, I fear for my safety. He was having a mental break. If you have to shoot him, you're trained. I go to the gun range, femur, shoot him in the leg. Keep him alive. Let him get the help.
I don't know if that's their protocol.
Right, and that's why they shouldn't be there for those. If you're having a mental break, reality is no longer reality for you. Right. You're standing on La Brea rubbing peanut butter on your chest, and you done snapped. You don't need a cop who's looking for an excuse to say, oh, well, you know, he's got muscles. You know, he might be having PTSD. He might be a war veteran. He might have CTE. He might be an ex-NFL player with brain issues. You don't need a cop responding to that. You need somebody that's sensitive to that particular person's struggle right there, and that way you can get the help you need, and that way we don't lose another human, black, white, or otherwise. So things like that, we need that in every city in America, at least every major city, because too many people die. That's one of the early things we could do past marching. I think marching is for us to get that anger out. When we watched George Floyd die, I wanted to break, hurt, and burn stuff. I needed to march. I needed to yell at the top of my lungs for 3 or 4 hours until my voice was gone, so that way I didn't do anything stupid. It was just to get that out of me because I was so angry as I watched this man call for his mom and slowly die in front of me. So I think the protests are necessary, peaceful.
I think, speaking out is definitely important. You have to speak out. Yeah. And then we have it's like before, during, and after. So that's like before an incident happened, while an incident happened, and then after. I see that the voice, the volume of the voice dies down afterwards. So we'll march, we'll speak out, and then we'll go back to everyday life. Not all of us, not you, not me, but like as a whole, the community, do we care enough?
Bingo. Yeah, and is it people who jump on the train because it's trending?
Right. We'll
get a lot of allies because it's trendy. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. So we got a lot of our white brothers and sisters jumping on board, our Latin brothers and sisters jumping on board, different ethnicities. But then their participation dissipates because it's no longer important to them or it's no longer trendy. Whereas this is our lifestyle. On the way to my car, if I get talked to by a police officer, I'm going to be nervous. And my papers are in order. I don't have any warrants. My car is paid for. But I'm still going to be nervous because they have a history of behavior where they shoot first and say, I was afraid for my life later, and they get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is our past, present, and we're still dealing with it. So, like, what are we doing, actively doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis to empower ourselves and each other within the community? Because like you said, we have to go. Did you say City Hall? Oh, in Georgia, you said there was a runoff.
Oh yeah, so the 2 Senate elections.
We gotta go outside of the community, but like also in the community, there's building that has to happen. Like, you're taking initiative and speaking out using your platform. Like, you could just be like, this is work, this marketing. I'm just gonna leave it at that, but you're showing personal information. You're uplifting people using your platform. Why are we not seeing that more often in the industries and in the celebrities using the platform to speak out? Like some feel like it's not my duty. Like that's
bingo. And then some are worried that it'll mess with their money. Some are worried that, okay, if I speak out, Black Lives Matter and defund the police or take some of their budget and pay the teachers better. Why are our teachers not making $120,000 a year instead of $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and they got to go buy supplies for the kids in their class out of their own pocket? That's crazy. That's money we could take away from the police. They're going to end up having to give $150 million of that money, of their yearly budget, to lawsuits anyway. So take that, give it to the teachers, pay them better, put programs, set up programs when we get out of the pandemic and we're not going to school online. Our kids aren't, we can set up after school programs. Stop defunding schools. There's a lot that we could do. In our community, we act like, I literally heard hundreds of people come on my page and say that their vote didn't matter. I'm like, we made a difference. We got Donald out of there. Finally, thank God.
Why was it? I like to know specifics. What are the specifics as why? I'm not Republican, but I want to know the specifics of why it was important to get Donald out of there. And also specifics as why somebody wants Biden in there.
Because, in my opinion, and
that's a longer conversation.
No, but I can streamline it. Donald was divisive. We're all, you, me, all three of us in this room. We are comprised of different components ethnically. But if you're decent to me as a human being, I can rock with you. Same with him. Same with anybody. Male, female, straight, gay, I don't give a flying you know what. I can rock with you if you're decent to me as a human being and you living in your truth, I respect you. Donald Trump was very divisive. He never condoned, never condemned white supremacy. Not one time that I can remember. He, if anything, he encouraged it. He was a liar. He encouraged all those people to attack the Capitol. 5 officers died. 5 people died.
Do you believe this structure, this power structure, condemns white supremacy?
I think it needs to, and I think it's just starting to. Like they got really uncomfortable when Joe Biden said that, when he finally condemned white supremacy. And I love Canada for declaring that the Proud Boys are a terrorist group, because they are. Anybody that preaches hate, they tried to make the Black Lives Matter movement seem like it was negative. So it would take some of the steam out of it. When in reality, 93% of all Black Lives Matter rallies, 93% were nonviolent. And I witnessed several occasions where the people committing the violence, spray painting stuff, pushing dumpsters into the street, setting the car on fire here in LA, those weren't black people. Those people were not black. I got one of them on my phone. I recorded. I was like, yo, what are you doing? And I told the police, I was like, yo, they over here about to burn this car. I wasn't snitching. You are affecting our cause, and you are not a black person. You're not the reason that we're out here marching and fighting for these injustices, and they're going to think that this was us. Mm-hmm. So things, you know, those reasons right there, I think that united we are better when we at least respect and accept everybody's differences. I don't have to believe in what you believe in. I'm glad that you believe in somebody called God, somebody bigger than us, because that's going to govern your behavior as a human, and that's going to cover how you treat other humans. We don't have to have the same religion. I like that you got one.
So like in a friendship with difference of beliefs, people clash in a friendship. In a relationship, it's clashing with differences of opinion, depending on what the disagreement is. Mm-hmm. And also, even in the family, there's clashing depending on the disagreement. So you may not care about the differences, mm-hmm. but in the world we live in, people in power care about differences. They have this is what I want, this is what I don't want, and then they make a decision. And so that's the world we live in right now.
Right.
Is it not?
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And we're allowed to. You and I are going to disagree on multiple things.
I mean, that's me and you will find out how to live together. I'm talking about the power structure.
Right.
Because like if somebody commits a crime, like cops kill somebody, mm-hmm. if there's justice, aren't we going to see it?
No.
I mean, if there is justice, we'll see it.
If there is justice, yes. As it currently stands, no, we won't see that.
So I'm like, if there's a problem with the structure, then why are we just talking about Donald Trump?
Well, part of that, and this would directly go to that answer, he was laying additional concrete in the current broken structure, hiring people who are not qualified to be in political offices, hiring people that are biased. I don't have a uterus. So even though I am pro-life, I don't have any business telling a woman what she can or cannot do with her body. That's the bottom line.
Are you a man of God?
Yes, I am. Yeah, and I'm a dad. But again, I can't create I can create one, but I can't carry and birth one. Therefore, it's not okay for me to tell a woman what she can or can't do with her body.
What does God say?
We know what the Bible says. I said I'm pro-life and I'm a dad. But at the same time, my beliefs, they're valid. But I'm not allowed to tell another female human, hey, you can't do this with your body. I don't think that's okay.
But that's what God says. God tells us exactly what to do and what not to do.
You're right, but I mean, he also says love your neighbor and don't lynch them from trees in the South. He also says don't be racist. He also says don't steal and don't murder and don't, you know, he says a lot of things, but we do it anyway. People do it anyway.
Not all of us. Like,
no.
And like, even if like I'm a sinner, if I stumble, if I fail, if I fall, I have to be honest about it. So like, I have to keep it 100. Like if I'm a man of God and he says not to do certain things and I do it, I have to be honest with myself.
Right. But he also instructs us not to judge. Judge not lest you be judged first. He does not want us placing judgment. That's his job. Is
it judgment to tell somebody, hey, this is what the Bible says?
It's not. We can have our opinion. We can have our opinion, but is it right for us to shut down clinics so women can't safely go through that medical process if they deem that necessary? No, that's wrong, I think.
I'm not saying just shut down. I'm talking about conversation. Conversation-wise, what I believe is what the Bible says.
And any good, educated, intellectually based, non-biased conversation is healthy on both sides. Yeah. On any subject, Republican, Democrat, pro-life, abortion, whatever, alcohol, legalization of weed, everything. all those good conversations are necessary to get things to a place to where everybody feels like their needs are served. But I personally, I really don't feel like I can voice my opinion. Like, I wouldn't ever want.
You can, my brother.
Yeah,
you can voice the information that's been presented to you from the Bible, because that's not an opinion. You didn't come up with that view.
No, but the opinion would be, I believe in what's in the Bible. That's your opinion. That's your feeling. That's the declaration.
Do you believe what's in?
I believe that, okay. but I also, and it's not a contradiction. It's just the fact that I don't feel like God put enough on my head already. I got enough responsibility. I've been through hell and back. Most of my young years were in foster care, group homes, detention centers, homeless, child abuse, you name it. I don't think he put me here to be the judge and jury for that. I think that I'm allowed an educated opinion, but I don't think it's my place. And I don't think the government has a place telling women what they can or cannot do. And that was one of the reasons I felt like Donald should definitely be out of there. Besides being a bigot, besides being a sexist, besides having 15 or 20 women claim that he sexually harassed them, he's intentionally trying to undo a constitutional right for women to be able to make that decision if it's in their best interest. And I personally, again, as a dad, I love my son. I would die for my son right now if God came down.
When I first met you, you spoke of your son.
Yeah.
And how important he was to you.
Yes, I would. If God came down right now, like, I got to take one of y'all, I'd be like, take me. Period. No cap.
That's love.
So, but just as a man, I don't feel like it's my place. I don't feel like it's our government's place to tell a woman what she can and can't do. Doesn't
the government tell everybody what they can and cannot do?
Except for the rich and the wealthy and the policymakers, basically.
They have different set of rules, but
of course
they don't run everything. So somebody runs everything, and then the structure has different set of rules. The different classes have different rules, but everybody has laws that they have to, like. We have laws.
I agree, but I don't think that'd be like them saying you can't. Weed is legal. That'd be like saying you can't smoke. Alcohol is legal. That's like you can't drink and drive, but you can drink at home. There's certain freedoms that you have. God laid out laws and rules, and He also gave us free will, which is a beautiful thing. And he understands that, okay, if you're gonna bump your head, you're gonna bump your head. I'll let you bump your head. But you do have the freedom to do certain things or try certain things, even if they go against what I said, because I gave you free will. You are human. We're not animals. We don't just have a set of routines that we go through. But I think that was on purpose. I think He gave us that free will on purpose, so we can find out what we need and what we don't, what we want and what we don't, what we like, what we don't. Continuously try to do what you said and live our life more and more right every single day. But at the same time, I vehemently think that, the government there's a limit. You should not be, you're not microchipping us. That ain't cool. All the stuff that they're talking about, or tagging us or tattooing us or telling women what to do with their bodies. I think these things are wrong. Kicking all the Muslims out of the country. The Muslim ban, all of that.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, Biden's trying to reverse Trump's Muslim ban. So because certain people from certain countries can't come here right now, that's crazy, and that's rooted in his divisiveness. That's rooted in his racism.
If Biden wants to reverse it, can he just reverse it, or is that
he has to go through the proper channels? But he can't, because now that we did win Georgia. The Senate House is 50-50. It's tied. The vice president gets the tiebreaker vote.
You're going to end up going into politics.
No, I had to pay attention, especially now.
We do have to pay attention.
I wanted to explain all this stuff, what's going on in the world to my son, so he understands. So he knows we're not just voting for Donald. We have to get people that, like your DA. Is your DA in your city? Is your district attorney in your city going to hold police accountable? Jackie Lacey didn't. 600 people were killed here between 2012 and 2020. Not one of those cops got held accountable. Not one of those cops had charges pressed against them. Not one. You mean to tell me all 600 of those deaths were perfect and justified? We need somebody in that city hall. We need somebody in that office that's going to at least make sure to try to get it close to justice, like you were talking about.
You know what? one of my what I think is one of the biggest problems is this division between the Black community.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if you believe you see initiatives we could take for freedom, initiatives for financial freedom, you name it. We talk amongst ourselves as brothers, sisters. There's too much division.
A lot.
Like a lot of people are like, I'm self-made. I just gotta take care of me. This person's saying the same thing. This person's like, so for us to move as a unit, because if we want change, it's not one person can spark change, but then people have to participate.
Right. The execution.
So for me, I want to focus most on the energy right here and right here.
Yeah.
Focus the energy there and say, hey, how can we become more efficient individuals and more efficient brothers? Because the things that you're suggesting that we need to do, and that has changed a lot, which is what made it possible for me and you to have this conversation today. People took steps and fought and spoke. So that's important as well. But what happens if there's progression outside of the community? We get progression where we can now drink water here and there, but then within the community, there's destruction. So I'm like, I need to refocus my energy to like where the destruction is happening inside. Because if there's destruction inside, and you have all this opportunities now outside, what are you gonna do with them if you're destructive here? True,
and I agree. I think there is a bunch of division in our community, and it's unfortunate. I address it when I can. I go speak to kids in foster homes, group homes, detention centers, homeless shelters, you name it. Because like I said, I came up in that. I think as far as the division, I think we start linking up with like-minded people that actually give a damn. And those like-minded people like ourselves, and it's a lot of them out there. People that like Stack Jackson said, Steven Jackson, he says, I got love for everybody who has love for everybody. I'm fighting like hell for us. But if you're just a human being that's got love for everybody and you're not some kind of bigot, then you are in essence still my brother. You're still my human brother. So I got love for every nationality, every orientation, everybody that has love for everybody. But we have to be consistent with our efforts. We can't make progress and then regress or let it die off. We got to be consistent with our actions. We can't just do it when it's trending or when it's popular. We have to do it consistently. There's so many other things. Like I'm starting a petition for the nonviolent response unit and for them to pass that bill. So where, and I want to say they just did it either in Oklahoma or somewhere, but they took some money from the local police department and it's not called the Nonviolent Response Unit, but in essence, that's exactly what it is. Those will be the people going out to those calls.
What are the qualifications? Like what?
Someone will be social work background, sociology, psychology, psychiatry, and someone will have the medical wherewithal to, let's say you have to tranquilize them, that you need 2 cc's or 4 cc's of this, that, and the other because this person is 140 pounds, and they won't do what they did to Elijah McClain. They gave him a sedative big enough for a person our size, 210, 220. He was 140 pounds, and he was autistic. That's why his heart stopped. Unprepared. The cop shouldn't have been, the cop and the medical person on site, they shouldn't have stopped him in the first place. They stopped him because he was walking and dancing on the way home. And he said, I'm different. I'm stuff like that keeps a fire lit under me. So I'm going to continue to be consistent. But to answer your question, because my ADD kicks in sometimes.
Good. You're efficient.
Being consistent and linking with like-minded people. And if you get an idea like this petition for the Nonviolent Response Unit, do it and push it around the internet and see if some other people can help push it around and see if there's some change that we can actually help enact in our lifetime. Can you imagine how many lives could have been saved already if not police, but trained medical professionals, mental and physical medical professionals show up to these calls and can handle them? it's less likelihood that you know, a lot of people would have died. So that's one of the things we can jump on, staying on these policies, staying on these bills. You know, I'm every year I'm going to be like defund the police.
I think this is good because your mind seems to be set on like the exterior obstacles, which they have to be, you know.
Yeah.
We have to address them.
Yeah.
We have to take steps, initiative. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, and I'm the same. But like our conversation here, it won't end today.
Oh no.
No, exactly. So we're going to continue this.
But when I say here, I'm not speaking like just me and you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the community.
No, I'm saying it in our community. So like I said, it's going to have to start with like-minded black folks that have a platform or that don't, and just really get after it, and that are caffeinated, and that I've met with city council people, I've met with mayors from different states and different cities and different states. I've met with senators and TV anchors and stuff like that, and we're trying to pool our resources so that way when we need to get something done, we can. And we're also working in the community to keep young brothers from killing each other. You know,
what are the steps
for that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bunch. One, if there's no money to be had, people gonna do what they gotta do to get food, to get by. You know, it's I've been there. I've from eating out the trash to stealing when I was younger, when I was a kid. I could clean Farmer Jack's or Kmart's out, but I was a runaway. If I would go home, I might get beat with the hammer again. So I'm going to figure out how to steal some food out of Kmart today, and I'm going to be successful. I got good at it. It's a necessity sometimes, but some of it is the feeling of hopelessness, feeling of helplessness. Some of them don't care anymore because they feel like, okay, the system is against us, the country's against us, nobody's in our corner, we don't have the same access to assets, to opportunity as other ethnicities or other parts of this town. And they fall into that mentality that where, okay, well, I got to get it by any means. If that means robbing him and taking his, then I'm going to do it. If that means, and then, you know, the whole gang mentality, that's all we've known.
So like music and film highly promotes violence.
Yeah.
So how can we use those mediums to positively influence change the mindset?
It's a good question.
Because as you know, with music, like hip hop is the most viral genre right now, and it's toxic
in the world.
And with TV and film, like how do you you're an actor.
Yeah.
How are we portrayed in the industry in different type of projects? The projects that you've been in, different studios. What's your perception of how we're portrayed? And
a lot of times we get portrayed in TV and film as the thug, as the goon, as the bank robber, even though I do want to play a bank robber in a movie just for the thrill of it because I'm never going to do it in real life. But
do you know how that influences people?
Yes.
Or does it influence people?
It does glorify it some. But we also have to, like, I trust that when my son sees this stuff, he knows. And we have real conversations, honest conversations. He knows that that's not the move. When he knows, you know, he better go on down to Buffalo Wild Wings or Whataburger or something and get a job. We're not robbing banks around here.
You know what I've noticed about myself? If I started to take stuff or be unfair, it started getting addictive.
Yeah,
like
the thrill.
I knew it was wrong, but there was a part of me that was like, why not?
Yeah,
I wish somebody would. And so what I realized that I gotta make sure that I kill that part. Yeah. Not physically, but just like put it to sleep. Be like, you don't get to speak anymore because I know it's there. Yeah. And so like I used to listen to DMX. Shout out to DMX, but he knows what these lyrics were about. Yeah. And I grew up listening to DMX and got a dog chain and everything, and I didn't know exactly what I was listening to, but I was absorbing it.
Yeah, it was feeding you.
So with the power of influence,
I think we could do better. I agree with you 100%. I think musically and TV and film entertainment-wise, I think because content creators control that narrative, I can write you as thug number one, or I can write you as the CEO who's having to fight through some money trouble. Either way, like if I take a role, I like the shady CEO. because he's not a perfect character. But I do think that musically and TV wise and film wise, we can change the narrative and start painting ourselves in a healthier light and stop glorifying these things as much. There is a small part of all humans, I believe, that like to see a little bit of violence because you're not going to actually do that in real life. You have common sense and you treat people decent and treat people good. I love to see a good explosion or like I said, as an actor, I want to rob a bank.
Because in real life, there is violence.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's TV and film they tell you it's entertainment. It's just for enjoyment. But meanwhile, I know it influences me.
It's dangerous.
So it's not just entertainment. Yeah, I want to see violence because it's real. But it has to be in context. It has to have a purpose.
Right.
If I just see it just to see it, then I'll start just wanting to see it just to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type of person that just want to watch violence.
Yeah.
If I'm watching it, I'm going to eventually express myself that way. So I'm like, all right, well, let me not ingest that.
Yeah.
And then with writing and producing content myself, I'm like, well, we should take that into consideration as filmmakers because a lot of people won't listen to this conversation, but they'll watch a film so we can reach them through film or music. And I just would like to see more of that.
Yeah, and I think it's a necessity. I think that's what I try to do as well. When I create, it's like I don't do gratuitous violence. I don't include gratuitous love scenes. If it moves the story along, if it's necessary, cool. If it's an inciting action that kicks off a couple other reactions and really sparks a change or a shift in the story, that's I'll include it, and it'll be a necessary component of whatever it is that I'm creating, but not just for the sake of doing it. But I do think that we need to use these mediums.
I'm glad you're writing. I can't wait to see what you wrote.
Oh, I'm cooking, man. I'm on my third novel now. I got 2 out now.
Oh, you're writing novels? I thought you were writing screenplays.
No, the TV show comes out in May. I write both.
My
I'm full-fledged nerd, brother. I love to create.
Okay.
Yeah. And films, I've written 3 or 4 films, 4 or 5 TV shows, and I'm on my 3rd novel.
You wrote yourself in them?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm not always the lead. When I first started writing, I had to be the star of everything.
Right.
Then you realize this might be better served with somebody else, and then I can write a cool little character over here.
Gotcha.
They won't care if I'm the 4th,
Yeah,
5th name
sense.
on the call sheet. If Idris is the lead, they not gonna care. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna play him over here. Oh, and okay. They won't care.
Right.
So I started being smarter about it, and I don't have to be the lead in everything of mine.
Right.
1 or 2 of them I want to be, and that's the way I'm pitching them. But the rest of them, I'm flexible. I just want them out there so they can challenge the world's thinking, so they can entertain people, but intellectually. And yeah, I just want to give people an entertaining, educational thrill as often as possible.
You've grown a lot.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man.
I'm witnessing growth even from a distance through social media. I'm like, look at him go. He's packing a punch.
Yeah. What's crazy is this last year and a half, I think my social media has jumped between Instagram and Facebook, probably 300,000 or 400,000 more people. Like it really went crazy. And I think it was just more so.
You got a huge responsibility, my brother.
Yeah. But I think it was just from being who I am, talking about the stuff that's important to me, being goofy, not always being perfectly put together, and all of the presentationship of it all, not really caring, being connected to the pulse of what's going on in the world and actually caring about what's going on in the world and being transparent. I think people can connect with you more, and they really want to ride with you, and they really want to support your stuff. Like they're the Saints and Sinners, Judgment Day. The film comes out on Valentine's Day, and I'm clearly super excited about it. But that's just one of the blessings.
That's one of your projects.
Yeah, I didn't write that one though.
Okay,
I'm just in it. I'm just an actor in it.
When's that come out?
Valentine's Day.
On Bounce.
Yeah,
check it out.
Yeah, it's good, man. And I'm a shady CEO. So
I'm check it out
I
and
love
share
it.
some feedback.
Yeah, it's
you're a veteran of what you do, so like
it's a blessing, brother, to be working in this climate. Even though they'll COVID test us every other day, temperature check you every day, but it's part of the process. If that means we can get back to work, the blessing of work, then I'm here for it. But I'm just glad to, to work consistently, push the envelope in front of the camera and behind the camera, create opportunities for folks that look like us and folks that don't.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing what's coming.
Speaking about the climate, like 2020, like how did you maneuver?
Ooh, 2020 was tough, man. I was kind of prepared for the pandemic anyway, though. Like, I'm a homebody. So, and to have to write an entire first season of my show, they didn't do the press release, so I don't even think I can say the name yet. But it's a really dope show. It's based on my first novel. I can say that much. It's based on Ladies' Night, my first novel. But that takes a lot of brain power and man hours right there, in lonely hours in front of that computer creating.
So you maximize the use of that time.
Yeah, they loved the pilot. I was reworking the pilot, and then he's like, hey, we're in a pandemic. You wanted to write the season? I was like, hell yeah! What you mean? Please don't threaten me with a good time.
Right.
So yeah, and I started. I outlined the rest of the season, wrote the rest of the season, did a couple more revisions, and we shot it in December.
Congrats.
Appreciate it, brother.
You kept it going.
Yeah, man. Let's listen. Like I said, I want to be in the area of my life that he's blessing. He gonna keep. 2019 was slower for me as an acting year. 2018 was outrageous. 2019 slowed down, and I'm like, why? Why are you slowing me down? What are you doing? And it was because he wanted me to focus on my writing. I didn't figure it out right away. I was pissed. I yelled at him a couple times. Might have said a bad word. I'm still sorry, sir. But I figured it out. He wanted me to focus on the content creation so he could really, really bless. Because when you sell a show and you write all the episodes, that's like go buy a house down south kind of money. Right. Like it's a financial blessing.
You're investing.
Yeah. So yes, it's property. It ain't jewelry money. It ain't go get I'm not going to drop $250,000 on no car. I want some property. So that's such a rare occasion. It's such a huge blessing. So I want to continue to focus on, like, if God's going to keep, blessing certain pockets of my life, I'm specifically focusing on those. And then if I have time to, venture off and do some other things on the side, but my focus is where he's blessing, because I know he's going to continue to be like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, bet. I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be catching all the blessings, both hands. So
yeah, he's definitely blessing you and, growing your platform and for his will. Yeah. So like you're speaking out, truth. You're looking for truth. You're shining light, and people are listening. I'm tuning in, and you seen your following jump.
Yeah.
It's still growing. What are some advice you can give to up and coming actors that can have progression?
I would say, one, right off the bat, don't say up and coming or aspiring. If you're an actor, you're an actor.
Okay.
If you love it and crave to get better at it and go further in it, then you're an actor. Period.
Own it.
Yeah, because there's more power in that. If I'm an aspiring, you kind of tentatively. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I love this ish. I act. There's power in the declaration of. And so no more aspiring or up and coming or no, you're an actor. Declare it.
I
own
never
it.
like those words to begin with.
Yeah, because they're tentative, and we don't want to do anything tentative. Everything with purpose. Everything with purpose. Two, if you don't have the money to go to like physical go to class, go to the University of Barnes and Noble. There's a bunch of acting technique books there. A bunch. Things to put you in the mind of a character, how to embody a character, how to bring him to life and breathe him or her to life. Story by Robert McKee. Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen. Ivana Chubbuck's got a book about acting techniques. Yeah, and I still reread them.
He doesn't play around.
Yeah, and I still reread them. I still take classes whenever I can.
Dedication.
Yeah, 20 years in, and I will, if I'm off for a month, I'll go get a class. And cats will look at me like, yo, you was on my TV last week. What are you doing in class? I'm like, I want to stay on your TV. So I'm going to be in class. I want to keep learning. I want to be a lifetime student. I'm excited about that. So I would say to any actors that are, earlier in their career, in their stages, be fearless with your choices, but also be comfortable enough and confident enough to make adjustments when the director or when producers give you adjustments in your auditions. Get comfortable with the auditioning process. Margie Haber, Margiehaber, has an amazing auditioning book that helped me a lot, helped me get comfortable. Wow. Because you can be confident if I do the preparation. If I prepare for the audition, I can make some bold choices and I can be confident. If I'm just cocky and I walk in there because I think, oh, well, you know, I look a certain way and they should just give me the part, I'm never going to book work. Yeah, you got to own that audition so that way you can own the role when you book it. So things like that, breaking it down to see, okay, I need to get better at auditioning. I need to, you know, work on my scene study.
Done your homework.
Yeah, you got to. And I think it helps, it shows, and now like I'll have casting directors bring me in and I can feel their excitement when I come in because I've booked shows with them before. Like they've booked me on this show. Yeah, and they're like, hey, let's bring Christian in here. Let's see what and they'll tell me in the room like, yeah, I know you finna do something. Come on with it now. Because they know I'm gonna prepare. They know I appreciate the opportunity to come in the room and fight for a role. So I'm gonna do the work. And I'm gonna make sure, you know, to make a fan in that room out of that casting director and to do a heck of a job. And if I book it, cool. But if not, I'm gonna book the room. I'm kicking everybody in that room and they gonna know he prepared this. He made bold choices. I believe him. I was just up for something amazing that I may not have gotten. I'll find out today. That was my agent calling. So I may get it, I may not, but it's on a really dope, really big worldwide show. And it's just me and another guy that's left up for it. They're picking it out.
That's
even
awesome.
if I don't get it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm in the conversation, and that's a blessing. That means I did my work, and at this point, it's out of my hands, so I can't beat myself up for it. Yeah.
Man, you're all rounded, man. So like, as far as marriage, what are your thoughts on that? When's the wedding gonna take place?
Well, I'm technically still single. You know, I date occasionally.
Occasionally, what that mean?
I mean, you know, you meet somebody, you date them, you see if you can build there. I date with a purpose. So if I'm dating somebody, then my intention is, you know, relationship and then continuing on up that ladder. I'd like to be married. I want another kid, you know, but that's after marriage.
Right.
So
like,
because I've never been married. So
you live in LA. How's the market looking like?
Dating out here is terrible, man. Dating out here because you never know what they want. You don't know if they're here for you, if they're here because they saw you on TV.
You know what you want?
Yes. Wife. I want a wife, not wifey. I want wife material. I don't want, you know, a hot, steamy 3 months. I want somebody that I can chase around the house naked for the next 40 years and give her my last name and build a life with her and, you know, tour the world and get property and leave, you know, generational wealth for my kids and my kids' kids and to do and change the narrative, change the conversation with some of the stuff I create content-wise to make sure that I do stuff like we were talking about, showing us in a good light, showing us is not just, you know, prisoner number one and prisoner number two.
I mean, there's a purpose to that. I mean, like, I'll write for those roles, but like, what's the purpose? Are they gonna overcome? Are you gonna show them how to overcome?
Yeah. Is it redemption?
Right.
You know, can I fight for this guy to hope that he turns it around? And does he turn it around? Yes. So because that mistake doesn't mean your life is over. Those kind of characters I'll put in there.
Those are our people.
Yeah, but not a thug for the sake of being a thug.
Yeah.
You know, it's I want to see us. You know, we're royalty. We believed even before they gave us the Bible when we came over here on the slave ships, and they taught us that because it would help us be more subservient. We always believed in God. In Africa, our ancestors believed, you know, sometimes some of them believed in the rain god and the sun god, and our ancestors, we always believed in
those
something
are fallen
bigger.
Gods.
Huh?
Those are fallen gods.
Yeah, but our ancestors always believed in God. And we always believed in our ancestors, you know, the whole spirit world and everything. I think that it's up to us to keep that going, whether or not it's specifically spelled out on the page or not, treating people good, doing right by people, you know, loving people. That's, you know, I think it's about a relationship with God and not necessarily a religion for me. It's about our relationship. I talk to him before my feet hit the floor in the morning. When I see 11:11 in the morning and in the evening, I pray again. I bless my food. Yeah, it's a relationship, and it's a lot of listening. A lot of listening. That's the hard part. A lot of people don't know how to do that. You got to hush. You shut the hell up and listen. He'll put certain things in your spirit. He'll correct you on certain things. Hey, you know good and well you shouldn't be doing that. You didn't need that Hennessy last night. He'll put certain things. He'll put certain things in your spirit, and we have a great relationship. It grows daily, but that is other than my son, equal to my sons. Those are the two most important relationships in my life. But I do want, and I do feel like eventually he's gonna give me my mate. She's gonna be amazing, and she's probably gonna be a little bit of a nerd like me. She's gonna love books, and she may be an actor. She may not, be an actor. She may be a bookkeeper or a business owner or something. But eventually, I'll get married, I believe.
What are some tips and advice for the males out there that want somebody that don't want to waste time? Because I wasted time. I don't know you have in the past. Like I made poor choices. I had to grow.
Yeah.
So like, what's some advice you can give to the younger gentlemen out there? And like,
be honest with yourself about what you can handle, about what you want. And I say this
too. What if you don't know?
And this, then you gotta remember that listening I was talking about. You have to listen and hold yourself accountable. Ask, what do I want? What can I handle right now? I'm in pandemic. It's February. It's the week of Valentine's. What kind of connection with a woman do I want? Can I handle? And what can I not handle? What should I not promise? What can I not offer? How do I like myself enough to be alone, or do I have to have somebody around me to distract me from the fact that I don't really necessarily like myself? You got to be honest with yourself is what would be the advice I would give them, and declare.
Work on yourself.
Yeah, and declare what you do and don't want with your person. Sit it down. Hey, this is all I can handle. I'm somewhat emotionally unavailable. This, that, and the other. I like this. I don't like that. This is pretty much what I can handle right now. Just being transparent. She will appreciate that conversation much more than you promising her the world and you giving her some BS. So I say be uncomfortably honest and transparent with your person, with your woman, fellas, and with your man, ladies, and declare what you want, need, and have to have, and what you're not going to tolerate. And if they can't handle that, then maybe, it doesn't make them wrong. That just makes them wrong for you.
Yeah. I really appreciate you, brother.
Of course, brother, always. Can
we get that outro?
Oh, yeah. This is Christian Keyes. Thank you guys for having me today. I ain't want nothing.
Guys, please subscribe, comment down below if any questions, advice, feedback, and see you next time.